All right, so I hope everybody's everybody's done the homework for this. I am gonna come and check it sometime today or tomorrow. So the homework that you should have done would have been 9B. Now I didn't upload the link for the videos, but they are there. Okay, I've uploaded them during the holidays. If you want to watch them again, it's there for you to use. Would love for you to use them as that's what they're there for. Okay, so if you forgot something or you want to do some sort of revision, you can use those videos. All right, today we're going to look into summary statistics. So in this topic of data, we've been learning about mean, median, and mode. We've been learning about types of data. Okay, there's two types. Does anyone remember the two types of data? One is categorical, not industrial, no. Numerical. Okay, what are the subtypes within those two? So for categorical, you've got two types. That's numerical. Categorical, one where there's an order, it's ordinal. And what's the other one? Nominal, good. And for numerical data, discrete, which is the counting. And then what's the measuring one? Starts with C. Continuous, good, very good. Alright, those are the two types of with. Mean, median, mode. If you want to watch the videos on it, it's already there. Okay, so for revision you can use them. However, we're going to move on to something else. Okay, so if you've forgotten any of that, again, to answer Kane's question, why do you record these? Well, there's your reason right there. So you can actually watch them again and just quickly go through the thing that you forgot. All right, today we're going to look into summary stats. Now, the idea behind this, or our intention for this session, is to be able to, if you look at the word summary, what do you guys think the word summary means? You're going to summarize. What does it mean to summarize something? Summarize, we'll clarify, yeah? Estevan, what does summary mean?
Summary?
Yeah, what does it mean to summarize something?
Like, think.
Yeah, okay, you got to think, of course. What if I ask you to summarize a paragraph? What does that mean?
Read.
Good. Read it, so you know the information, and shorten it. So, the idea behind this chapter is that you've got a set of numbers and you need to shorten it. And the way we shorten it is, as it says here in our learning intention, you want to represent the data with 5 numbers. 5 important numbers that are in the data. And we call that the 5-number summary. Okay? On top of that as well, we're going to look into outliers as our part of the learning intention. So I'm hoping by the end of today, you can calculate your 5-number summary. So summarize your data with 5 numbers. And then also calculate your outliers using a fence. All right, we'll look into that as we go through this topic. All right. Has anyone done any of this before?
Yep.
Yes or no? Okay. Yep. The basic way to understand the 5-number summary, as Estevan mentioned, is you're just shortening the number of numbers to 5 important numbers. Okay, and those 5 numbers will basically represent the data. Okay, the way that I like to think about it is cutting things in half. That's all it is. I think Sam mentioned this before with the quartiles and whatnot. Somebody mentioned it. It's all about cutting things in half. Okay, maybe not, but that's all right. But basically, with the 5-number summary, okay, it's values that provides an overall. Remember, you're shortening it. It's an overall representation of a set of data. And here are the 5 numbers. The 5 numbers you look for are the minimum. Okay, whoops, sorry. Let me highlight that for you guys. So you're working with the minimum. So what's the minimum? Anyone know what that is? Oh, voice crack right there. What's the minimum? Tell me. What's the minimum? The smallest number. Easy. Okay, I like to do it this way, even though it's sort of listed in a certain order here. Minimum is the smallest number. Georgie, what's the maximum? What would the maximum be? Highest number. Good. So there's 2 numbers there that you have to find already. What's the smallest number? What's the maximum? Okay. Next one I like to look for. I'm going to ask Celine. What's the median? What is a median? The middle number, good. So you've got your minimum, you've got your maximum, and then you look for your median, which is the middle number. Okay. Now we haven't done this before, but let me ask Abby, what do you think the lower quartile or Q1 might mean? What's the Q1? You can look at it here. What do you think this means? Half of the what? Okay, so let's say you've got your data. You've cut it in half, yeah? Q1 is the middle of the lower half. Okay? What do you think the Q3 would be, Vangelica? What's Q3? So if Q1 is middle of the lower half, good. Q3 is middle of the upper half. Now again, it's all about cutting your data in half. There's your 5 numbers, yeah? What's the smallest? What's the highest? What's the middle, which is Q to a median? And then what's the middle of the lower half? What's the middle of the upper half? That's all you look for when it comes to the 5 number summary. Let's actually do some of this as a practice, okay? Now, one thing you want to do when you're working with 5 number summaries is always make sure your numbers are in numerical order. Do not start doing the 5 number summary when your data is just mixed up. It has to be in numerical order. So it's already done here for us. So I like to list it like this. What's my minimum? What's my Q1? So the middle of the lower half. What's my median? What's my Q3? And then what's my max? Okay, so tell me guys, what's my minimum and my maximum? Let's start with that. And? Good. So start with your minimum and your maximum always. So your minimum has to be 9 and your maximum is 40. Shh. Copy this down, please. Georgie, what did I say? Copying these questions down, yeah? So answers there. Please copy them down. You're going to need them. Always start minimum and the maximum. So in this case, it's 9 is the minimum. The maximum is 40. Now, the next thing I like to do is the median. So the middle number. If you forgot how to do the middle number, what you can do is you can count. You can use that formula of n plus 1 divided by 2. This gives you the location of the median, where n is the number of numbers. Okay, so let's count. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 numbers. So if I use my formula, thank you, Sam. 15 plus 1 divided by 2 equals the 8th number. Okay, so all I'm looking for is the 8th number here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so my median is 20. I also like to do this. I can label it there. That's my median. There's my minimum. There's my max. You don't have to do this, but it's good practice. Okay, and you can point it right in there as well, so you know what you're looking at. Okay, what is Q1? Good question. So remember, with the Q1, you've split your data in half. The Q1 is the middle of the lower half. So I'm not sure if it's listed in there, but here's the lower half of the numbers. Now here's the thing, yeah? When it comes to Q1, you don't want to include the median. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Look at the lower half. If your median is right there on 20, when you're looking at your lower half, it's only these numbers. Okay, you do not include the median. Keep that in mind. Do not include the median when you're looking at Q1. Shh. So once I've split my data in half, don't include the median. There's my lower half. What's the middle number in the lower half, guys? 18. So my Q1 right there is 18. And it's exactly the same for the upper half. Okay? Don't include the median. Okay? It is there, it is down there. Okay, do not include that 20. You don't need it. What's the middle of this data set here, guys? 33. Easy. That's literally all you do for the 5 number summary. Okay, and again, you can label them if you want on your data. So, shh, boys. Do you do the same for the 1? What do you mean by that? the next question here. Okay, so notice how they're slightly different. Thank you for making that point, Estevan. The first one here is an odd amount of numbers. Here you've got an even amount of numbers, so it's a little bit different. I'll do it with you guys as we go. But do we understand this? Not too hard, yeah? All right, let's do this one. But now you've got a even amount of numbers. So again, when you're doing your 5-number summary, always start off by writing down what you're looking for. So you got the minimum, you got your Q1, you got your median, Q3, and then the maximum. Okay, that's the 5 numbers you are looking for. What are they? All right, minimum, maximum. What are they? Easiest ones. 9 and then 82. Easy. Okay, and if you want, you can put them here. So min, and there's your max. Okay. All right, median. Now here we've got, instead of 15 numbers, we have 16 numbers. So remember the formula you have there, n plus 1 divided by 2. Okay, you've got 16 plus 1 divided by 2, which equals, what does that equal, guys? 8.5. Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 numbers. Okay, shh. All right, Attila. According to this, my median is the 8.5th number. I'm going to ask Attila. Sorry? Okay. Where's my median in this data set? 8.5th number. What is it?
20 and 25.
Okay, so it's between 20 and 25. There's my median. Okay, but how do I find it? What is it?
Plus and divided by 2.
Good, add them together. So 20 plus 25 divided by 2, which is 22.5. Okay, that's my median, 22.5. Yes, Sam.
When you do the Q1, Q3, do you go from like outside of the 20 and 25, or do you go the 20s included in Q1 and the
Okay, good. So remember I said don't include the median, yeah? Technically 20 is not a median, so you've got to include it. So to answer Sam's question, now when you do Q1 and Q3, okay, you're looking at these numbers, okay, which is what's down here. Okay, you don't include the median when you do this. Just don't include it. Technically, the median is between 20 and 25, so it's in there, but technically, okay, it's not part of the median anyway. So you look at these numbers only. So, I'm going to ask Lizzie, what's the median, or what's the Q1 then? So with these data, this data set, where's the Q1? Where's the middle number? She's going to find it. 18. Between 18 and 8. What's between 18 and 18? 18. Easy. Okay. Shh. Other one might be a bit trickier. Same thing though, yeah? Again, you don't include the median. So it's just this data set here. So what's what's the median in this data set? Let me ask, maybe Kane? Shh. Where's the middle number here? Is it 33? You think it's 34?
I don't know.
Why do you think it's 34?
It's in the middle.
Good. It's between 33 and 35. Good. Add them together.
Divide.
Divided by 2 equals 34. Well done, Kane. So that means Q3 is 34. Easy. Any questions? Okay, let me pause it there for a second. Let's keep going. So, 5-number summary, really easy. Minimum, maximum, median, Q1, Q3. That's it. That's what you're looking for. Let's move on. This one's really easy. Measures of spread. You might need to flip your page for this. Measures of spread.
Turbulence.
Okay, shh. Okay, this one's not that hard. Measuring your spread is basically just explaining to me what is the range and the interquartile range. Everybody here knows the range. It's basically the maximum minus the minimum. Say that again. Okay. Now, interquartile range, however, is a little bit different because what that's looking at now is the range between the Q3 and Q1. All you're doing for IQR or interquartile range is get your Q3, minus it with the Q1. That's all it is. Not hard. Okay, so let's go and actually try these ones out. So remember these questions here. If you need to copy down the numbers, let's put them in. But we need to find the range and the IQR. So let's calculate it. So for question A, find the range. Remember the range is max take away the minimum. So in this case, it's 82 take away 9, which is 71. Easy. There's your range. Okay. Question B, the IQR or interquartile range is just basically Q3 take away Q1. Okay. Let's see. Who haven't I asked here yet? Krish, what's Q3 minus Q1 here? Well, give me the numbers. Give me Q3. 34. And what's Q1? 18. Yes, sorry. Okay, so what would that be? Well, not quite. I think it's yes, IQR. 16. Okay. Just double checking. Easy. That's really all you need to do for these questions. Range, max minus minimum, IQR, Q3 minus Q1. So if it asks you for that, you need to be able to do that. Now, the reason why you need to do that is because in the next question, which is the last bit for this tutorial, is we need to calculate an outlier. I'll leave that up there. All right. Now, when it comes to outliers, sometimes they can be very, very obvious. Okay, but does anyone know what an outlier is? Yes, sir.
It's a number that's like really different from the rest of the numbers.
Very different from the rest of the numbers. Good. So, here's an example. Let's say I put all of your ages, actually everyone's age in this room, in order from lowest to highest. Who would be the outlier?
You.
What? Yeah, because I'm an old man, exactly. My age compared to you guys would be really, really high, and it wouldn't fit with the data. Nah, way older than that.
42.
Outliers, okay, so if you look at this, as Sam mentioned, it's data that is outside of the rest of the data. Okay, so 32. Data that's outside of the rest of the data. Now, there is a way to determine it. You can have an outlier that's above the data or an outlier that's below the data. Okay, if I go back to the age idea here, if, for example, we brought like a baby in the room, their age would be 0, my age would be 32, both of us would be outliers compared to you guys because you're all about 16 or 15, whereas our ages are way outside of it. Okay? The baby would be an outlier in the lower limits, and I would be the outlier in the upper limits. But we need to figure out what are the limits. The limits are what we call the fences. So think of a fence as where it stops. Okay, so there's a lower fence or lower limit and an upper fence, which is the upper limit. Here are the formulas for the fences. I think it's in your notes, but if it's not there, please copy it down. In year 11 and year 12, these are very, very, they get used very often. So you've got to make sure you get used to using them now. Working out for this, I would say in year 11 and year 12, you're already looking at 2 marks just for doing this. Okay, so if you can do this, great. Before the lower fence, so when you're trying to determine what's the lowest number that you can go before it becomes an outlier, it's here, Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR. Okay, that's it. That's why we need to know that IQR. Okay, for the upper fence, it's Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Interquartile range. So it's the range in the middle of the data between Q1 and Q3. So you know how with range for normal data, you got the maximum takeaway minimum? For interquartile range, it's Q3 take away Q1. It's the range within the data. It's in there, Donovan, if you need it. Okay, so let's calculate some of these outliers. And then we'll do one more example. All right, shh. So you might need to write the data in again there, but I've put it in for you so you don't have to worry about it. For this data, determine if any of the outliers exist. So when we do this, you have to determine using the fences. Okay, so one thing that's missing here is the IQR. I want to put that in here. Donovan, do you remember what the IQR is? How do you calculate it?
Q1 take
The other way, Q3 take Q1. Okay, so in this case, it's 34 take away 18.
Oh,
Exactly, thinking, I like it. So the IQR is 16. Now, remember, this is how you should lay this out. And I'm going to show you. This is how we do it in year 11, or how I like to do it in year 11. Split your sheet or page in half, and here you're going to do lower fence, and here we're doing upper fence. And again, the idea behind the fences is you want to know what's the lowest limit and what's the highest limit you can go before you have a outlier. So for the lower fence, okay, it's going to be Q1 take away 1.5 times IQR. So let's work that out. Chris, what's my Q1 here? Have a look at the data. Q1, what is it? 18. Take away 1.5. Tiana, what's my IQR? Good. 16. So chuck that in your calculator. 18 take away 1.5 times 16. Oops. And that equals negative 6. Now, listening. My lower fence is negative 6. What does that mean? Any number that's lower than negative 6 is an outlier. Now, technically, negative 6 is over here. Do we have any numbers lower than 9?
No.
No. So there's no outlier in the lower fence. What about the upper fence? Well, let's calculate it. I can see that there probably is, but you have to prove it. Okay, you can't just say there is an outlier. Upper fence, remember the formula is... Actually, does anyone want to tell me what it is? It's Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Okay, that's your upper fence. So let's work that out. Colin, what's my Q3 in this data set? I'm circling it for you, man. 34, okay? So 34 plus 1.5 times my IQR, which is 16. So you chuck that in your calculator. You get 34, 1.5 times 16. Notice how with the upper fence, it's plus, not minus. This equals 58. So technically, my upper fence is between 40 and 82, which is 58. Now, is there any numbers higher than the upper fence? What is it? So this is what you write. Therefore, 82 is an outlier. I know it's silly, but that's what they want in year 11 and year 12. You have to state what's an outlier. And the why is when you calculate the fence. So you've got to show them that you can do the fences. 11. This is what we do in year 11 and year 12. No, do it like this. No, yep. Don't be lazy. Do it like this, please. Okay, you have to write and tell me what is an outlier and why. Okay. Any questions with this? Sorry, is it hard to see?
Green is very difficult to see.
Okay, let me change the colors.
What do you do? Why is this so confusing?
Okay. All right. So I don't think we're going to have time to do work because we're going to do one more, and this one you're doing your bound reference. Very good example to do your bound reference. Okay. So once you finish copying this, I'm going to get to the next question. Take your bound reference out. I want you to do this one in your bound reference, please. Okay, can I move on or are we still copying? I want to move on. Copy this in your bound reference, please. Let's go. Okay, first thing we need to do with any question like this, always put it in numerical order. The reason being, the teller asked me, do you have to put it in order? Well, yeah, because if you went and said, my minimum and maximum are these two, that would be incorrect. 15 and 17 are not the minimum and the maximum. Neither will, I think, 16 and 15 be or medium. Okay, it wouldn't make sense. Has to be in order. Must be in numerical order. That's what you want to start off with. So always confirm that whatever data you're working with is in proper numerical order. Now just keep copying as you go. I'm going to start working it out. So remember, 5-number summary is basically just the minimum. Okay, the Q1, the median, the Q3, and the maximum. Okay, you're looking for the 5 numbers that basically represents all of these numbers. Okay, so minimum has to be 0. I'll just do that here. Different color. Minimum is 0. My maximum is 35. Okay, now the median. So you might need to count the number of numbers. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So using that formula of n plus 1 divided by 2, 13 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 7. So the 7th number is your median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well done, Donnie. 17 is the median. Okay, I can even put my minimum. You can label it if you want. And my maximum is 35. You guys are doing really good, by the way. This might be the last one. Okay, Q1 and Q3. Remember, when you're looking for the Q1 and Q3, you don't include the median. So for this data set, if I'm looking for the median of the Q1, I'm only looking at these numbers. Okay, I don't include 17 in there. So the middle number here is between 15 and 15, which would just be 15. Okay, that's Q1. Okay, next one. The Q3, don't include the median. Estevan's correct. It's between 20 and 21. There's your Q3. So what's that? 20.5. Add them together. If you're not sure, okay, divided by 2, 20.5. Okay, nice and easy. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Okay. Shh. Next question is part B. Calculate the range and the IQR. So we need to just find the range and IQR for this. So I'm just going to write them down here. And this is how some year 11s actually like to do it. They all like to just put it all together with the rest of the questions. So here, the range.
The IQR is 5.5.
Well, let's calculate it together, Donnie. So range is 35, take away 0, which equals 35. And then the IQR is going to be 20.5, take away 15. Which in this case is, you said 5.5, Donnie, right? It's actually 4.5. Actually, no, you're right, 5.5. My bad. 5.5, well done. Easy. Lastly, outliers. Remember, outliers, just split them in half when you do it. Do the lower fence to the upper fence. Okay, and I'll just do it all here. So split it in half like so. Lower fence, or LF. Upper fence, UF. Okay, do your formulas for it. My lower fence is Q1, take away 1.5 times IQR. Okay, shh. Have a seat, have a seat. We're not. Okay. Alright, so Q1, guys, is 15. Take away 1.5, thank you, Donnie, times IQR of 5.5. Put that in your calculator.
No, this one represents this.
Okay, shh. 6.75. Shh. Now, looking at your data, guys, is there anything below 6.75? Zero. So you have to now write therefore. Zero is an outlier. Easy. Upper fence, same deal. Okay. The formula is Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. So that's going to be 20.5. So you have to show you're working out, guys, whenever you do this. Times.
You told me before. This stuff's easy.
Okay, shh. Last one. Is there anything higher than 28.75? Yes? The number 35, because your upper fence is over here. So you have to now write, therefore, 35 is an outlier. Okay, I'm going to stop.